about. So I can look at this over the last week or over extended period of time to determine if this is an ongoing issue or something just came up.
But Joe's not the one in the funny headset over there, is he?
Yeah, he's the guy who's
So tell me, Mike, is there anything you can do now about that?
Yeah, of course. There are a number of actions they can do. So, for example, for Joe, seems to be problematic. So I can turn on the tracing here for Joe. I can turn on the tracing to collect more details and monitor the cause more closely to see if he needs coaching or some training or not.
Yeah. Now, can you tell me how is this different than reporting?
Good question. I had the same thought before. So why is this different from the traditional reporting? This is very different. The solution we're talking about here is predictive analytics, where I can take actions based on the contact center data. So, for example, here the actions that I just showed you here. For the example, all the examples include the whole time here, and then the average speed of answer or abandon rate. So the solution provides me a complete view of the situation based on contact center alone, and then tie it back to the system recommendation that allow me to take actions, and sometimes automatically.
Oh, automatically? Really?
Yep.
Huh. So what do you mean by automatically? Is the system going to take action without you intervening?
That's right. So, for example, for Joe, I can view his performance here versus the peers. We see the pics here that he exceeded the.
Somebody's trying to handle the customers.
That's right.
You want a different challenge here.
There you want to get me there. So, shown here are the access times here for Joe. So I can compare his performance versus the other team members in my team, and then I can also compare my team versus my peers. Right? So, for example, other conditions like seasonality of the car, and for new agents, right? New agents seem to put on hold more frequently because they're learning on the job, and so for those conditions, then the system can learn those conditions, right, and manage it that way. And also, I have a capability here to intervene, that I can set the appropriate business rules here. For example, I can change this target here to 250, for example, and
I see. So you
run it again.
You can override the learned targets that the system setting.
Yes. Yes.
I see.
Yep.
Well, Mike, it looks like you have a lot of things at your fingertips here. But I have to ask you, what are you going to do about our agent Joe?
So this is very useful for us. We need to provide us a capability to really identify what's going on, and also the appropriate training for our agent. So, for example, here Joe, he may need some personal coaching, so he need to go back to work and give him some.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike, for your time here and for showing us around. I really appreciate it. We'll let you get back to your job over here. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. So we're headed. You saw pretty interesting here. A couple of key things that we showed here. One, the first one was really descriptive and comparative analytics. He also showed us the suggested actions. So the system suggested some things he could do based on that. And then finally, the business rules and kind of the target, the system kind of learning based on that rich historical data and being able to learn over time. So pretty interesting.
It's very interesting, actually. I think that the key that I'm learning here essentially is we're acting at more of the data, right? We're looking at all of the data. We are bringing that data for trending comparative analysis, and then we are creating some hooks right in the system itself based on those workflows and use cases to act on that data while the call flows are lasting in the context of the business process, right? And then, obviously, given that this is a platform, there's an opportunity to start bringing in other data sources, right, through our partner. So, thank you guys, really appreciate it. So, if I were to sort of go back and summarize a little bit, right? Obviously, why do we need to do this? It is for our customers, value for our customers, because our customers need to serve their customer better. And as they start running towards them and become more outcome focused, analytics are that enabler, that the science which will help them understand those customer profiles, those customer behaviors, and then tweak their business processes and application to meet some of those business goals. From a partner perspective, obviously, you can see that this is very much going towards driving conversation that's beyond just within the contact center, right? It is obviously about optimizing the contact center, but it's also optimizing and producing different customer experience, right? It's a door opener to start having that conversation on. I now understand a lot more about how calls happen and what kind of experience customers are getting, and I can tie that with you with other sources that you want to do on outbound campaigns, on reducing customer churn, on understanding lifetime value, and then use some of those CRM type of analytics to be utilized for better customer service inside of the contact center channel, right? So it helps our partner do that. Obviously, it positions additional opportunities to build applications, right, and dashboards over and beyond, because again, we're going to enable this through web services and APIs so that you can provide that additional integration. But off the bat, we want to make sure that we solve some clear problems, some of the use cases that I described, many more. And therefore, we will compete more effectively, right? So that's what we wanted to do. Really appreciate the time that you provided us today. Hopefully this is valuable. We are actually going to have a birds of a feather just right after we're deciding on reporting and analytics. So we are happy to answer more questions. The team is here, the product management team across both BU and our organization. And then obviously we'd like to understand your scenarios, your use cases, and how can we do more effectively. I don't know if Carmen mentioned that. So I talked about a lot of directional change here, right, from the company perspective and the big company strategy. You'll see a lot, you'll hear a lot more solutions coming out in this space, very much following the trend that I just described from the contact center package, where we're talking about horizontal capabilities, allowing our partners to do more, and Cisco deliver their solutions. But this is something that we are looking to bring out end of Q2, early Q3 timeline. So please tune for that. And again, thank you for your time.